I've always been one to just kind of like shove that stuff down. I was like, I need to be perfect. I need to be like, hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra, and I make videos on minimalism. So today's minimalism video is going to be how to rip yourself apart to discover the rot and learn how to heal. So I got 10 things that I want to talk about because recently I've been going through a transformation of my own. If you guys saw on Instagram, I totally gutted my closet, gutted my drawers, like everything. I took out everything, and I did like some pretty big like declutters, cleaned out. And honestly, it's because like I was like really struggling with a lot of emotional things that I felt ashamed that I was struggling with, if I'll be completely honest. But I got 10 things that I want to talk about that kind of helped me work through these emotional pains, clean my closet, and like clear my mind, because I do think that that is the best part about minimalism. Minimalism is not some cute little trend that's like, yeah, aesthetic, I only have 2 items. I don't think personally that was the biggest benefit of minimalism. It's constantly decluttering what's up here. Like this baggage can get so heavy. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's go. Woo. I make these videos because I really do think that these can help out my Cobra babies. I try my best to make videos that are intentional and that are helpful, because I think at the end of the day, the thing that's been most meaningful has been serving my community. And yeah, let me just tell you guys like what kind of kickstarted this. Now that like I'm out of the funk, I was like not in a good place. Like I was like, you guys know like that feeling of like you're lying in bed and you're just feeling miserable and you just want to cry and you just feel like I like hate myself. And this kind of got triggered because recently was my birthday. I turned 34 and I was pretty much having like a midlife crisis. I think one of the good things about like not really caring what people think is that like I'm okay to share like my darkest side with the internet. I was not in a good place, guys. I think I was like crashing out, and I think I was like, yeah, I was like trying to like self-validate on the internet and spiraling. And I figured if I created more content, I would like numb the pain of like the existential crisis that I was having. I just felt like honestly, like at the core of it, I felt really disappointed with my life, how I didn't accomplish some of the things that I thought were going to be in my life. And I think like I can be vulnerable and honest and talk about how like I just felt really frustrated with my YouTube channel. I think because it's kind of like I didn't have the growth that I was supposed to have. I've been having like really good years, and this year was like particularly slow, and I blamed myself and I hated myself, and I was just like spiraling, and it's just like not good. And the reason that I share all of this is not to be like, oh, woe is me, like feel pity for me or something like that. No, but it's just like because point number 1 is actually that exploring the dark side. So obviously I don't want to make this video about me. These videos are never about me, if we're being completely honest. These videos are about you, my Cobra baby, and me sharing all my pains so I can help you guys out. So the first thing is explore the dark side. And I think that if you are going through it, because I think we all go through it, like I used to think there was something wrong with me when I went through it, but I think that we all go through it. If you are going through it, it's okay. It's okay to explore the dark side. I've always been one to just kind of like shove that stuff down. I was like, I need to be perfect. I need to be like aspirational. But I don't think I really just, now that I'm older, and I honestly, I didn't come up with these ideas. You guys know that like I love to learn. I went on YouTube. Honestly, I went on YouTube and like I googled like what's wrong with me. I found like this one guy, his videos have been like amazing. His name is Daniel, and I just like I fell down a rabbit hole watching his stuff. So I'll put it in the playlist down below. But like exploring your dark side and like healing these things has been like really, really helpful, because honestly, I didn't even want to face it. I didn't want to face my failures. I was angry I had failures. I was angry things didn't go my way. I was angry that I was supposed to be like living this magical life, this phenomenal life, and I was just like, I was really taking for granted all the wonderful things that I did have in my life, and I was just like so focused on the lack. And it was like I actually needed to go like deep into that. I had to like rip out the rot. I had to like explore like the things that didn't work out and like make peace with them, like legit make peace with it and accept the next thing, which is point number 2, which is like reframing failures as your best life experiences. And that is just so difficult, because it's like some of the things that I'm like, how does one reframe that? And it's actually really difficult, because the alternative is like, let's actually just explore the alternative. Let's just say you don't view your life that way. You think that your failures are the worst thing that ever happened to you, so you take up drinking, hard drugs, trying to numb the pain, and just feeling so angry that X, Y, and Z happened, instead of celebrating them. And I know that's like such an awful thing, because we've all experienced like really horrific and like traumatic things. How do we celebrate that happened? So there's 2 things. You can think of it as these are our strengths. You are a warrior. Your character, the best things about you have come about because of these things, and you don't have to take my word for it. And I know it's like really hard to like wrap your mind around it, and sometimes I can't speak for other people but speak from like personal experience. But for me personally, once I started like reframing these failures as my best life experiences, I was like, actually good things came out of these things. Like there's plenty of times I sit and I cry that like I paid 70K for a dental loan that like I'm not even using, and it's just like, how? I was like, I hate myself. But then when I reframed it as like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, I would not, never in my sane mind would I ever become a minimalist if I didn't have those student loans. I wouldn't have this channel. And in hindsight, now that I'm older, among all my material possessions, expensive, even life experiences, expensive, not expensive, one of the things that fill me with pride is actually this YouTube channel. Even though this YouTube channel is nothing big, but it's by far one of my biggest accomplishments, and I'm so happy that it happened. And I would never have gone to med school, and I would never have started this channel. I would have never taken on those student loans, and this channel would have never have happened, and I wouldn't be where I am today. And like, that's such a pity, because like, I love being a minimalist. I love being a content creator. So I hope that that kind of helped refrain that like your failures are actually your best life experiences. And maybe try this exercise. If you're like in a dark place, this might be finally the place where you've hit rock bottom, and it's time to start looking at those horrible things that happened are actually the best things that ever happened to you. Okay, coming in at number 3, trust God. I think a lot of you know I'm not super religious. I try not to talk about religion on my channel, but since we're talking about this, and I think it's worth exploring, especially because we're kind of like in a dark place, it's worth talking about religion. So let's talk religion for a quick little sec. So you guys know that I'm Catholic. Well, I was born and raised Catholic, and I went to the Catholic church and a Catholic school, and I never really found the peace that I was looking for in Catholicism, hence why you guys know that I'm a Buddhist. Once I became a minimalist and I discovered Zen and Buddhism, I have found so much peace and happiness in like suffering is due to attachment. And you guys know that I love to let go of things and detach things. And I find that really spoke to me. But let's take a moment to kind of just talk about trusting God. I can't sit here and lie to you guys still. I don't know if the church did a good job of brainwashing me. I still do believe in God. I can't help it. I still, in my darkest of darkest moments, I still turn to God. I still turn to praying. And something that's really helped me a lot get through like these dark moments in these past couple like months was kind of like talking to God, and it's really like centered me, because I think, as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, like I don't have friends to turn to. I don't have people I can call up and be like, hey, let me tell you about this and that. And I don't really like telling my parents more than I need to, because it tends to worry my parents. My parents are very loving, so anytime I talk about something that's hurting me and they can't help me, the two of us just spiral, and it's like not a good place to be. So something that I have found is that like trusting in God has been like really, really, really helpful, and framing it as, and I got this actually from the video from Daniel in one of his videos, is just kind of like this understanding that like sometimes you just have to trust God, and it's just as simple as that. And you can kind of reframe it as like protection, and that's kind of the conclusion I've come to, that sometimes things that didn't work out for you is because like God's protecting you from something, and you just really need to have faith in that, and you need to realize that. And I find that it's actually kind of true. So if I were to use like life experiences to kind of illustrate this point, sometimes some things after the fact, like many years later, things will come out and you'll be like, what? And you're like, oh my gosh, that's actually so glad that this thing didn't work out, because later down the road you find out if it had actually happened, this and this and this and this, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm actually so glad that didn't happen. But I know it's hard until you hit the end, and then you see that for the front part of it, you're like, I wish this happened. And forcing your will is not gonna make things work. And so it's just like really unhealthy. And so at some point, if you are like in the depth of it, you just need to place some trust in God. I know, easier said than done. It's like not easy, because you feel like that's the core of it. You want to have some control. Like if I just work really hard and I try really hard, everything will come out my way. And I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time praying. But sometimes just pray to God and be like, you know what? I've done everything that I can. The rest I put in your hands. And if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. And if it's not, give me the grace to handle this with grace. Okay, coming in at number 4. So even if things are ordinary, you still deserve to live a meaningful life. Part of my crash out, and because like I like being vulnerable, and I really do believe that when I'm honest and real, it resonates with other people. Part of my crash out was kind of like, oh my God, like I'm not living like this magical, fantastical life. I don't even know what happened. I think I took like the wrong turn on like Delulu Lane. I was like, why is this and this not popping for me? Why is this and this? And like, I just fell into this like really nasty rut of just feeling like my life wasn't magical or meaningful or wonderful. Hence why a lot of my videos recently, my little TikTok things, it's just like me trying to like convince myself that my life is awesome, because I genuinely wasn't feeling like that. And so I think that the thing that's like really set me free is realizing that like, even if you're ordinary, even if like you're a peasant, let's just say, like there's only one king or queen, but there's a bajillion peasants. And the realization, like it hit me hard. I was like, oh my God, like I'm a peasant. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like legit, I've been walking around thinking myself like a queen with like a crown on my head. Like I'm pretty Delulu. I think very highly of myself. But I just like crashed and burned when I was like, oh my God, I'm a peasant. and it was just like, it just like broke my reality, and I was not having a good time. And I think that the thing that's like really set me free after having like struggle boat for like a couple months, feeling like not great, was just kind of realizing that like, okay, so who cares if you're a peasant? Be the best peasant you can be. Like, dress nice, wear your little maid dress, go milk the cow, and just like be happy. Like, just because you're a peasant doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be happy too. And that's really freed me and made me feel like, you know what, no, I'm doing things right. Like, wear your best stuff. You guys know that I'm a big proponent for wearing your best stuff, dressing nice, putting on makeup, putting on the perfume. Like, I dress every day as if it's my birthday. So yeah, if you're feeling like, oh man, like my life's ordinary, I don't deserve to even try, like it's not going to help with the rot. You need to heal and you need to move forward by embodying your best self today. Okay, coming in at number 5. So learn to develop some hope and faith that life is going to turn out okay. We all go through dark times, and I know that when you're going through it, it is so hard to think like things will get better. But I think that you need to get through the dark times by believing that things will get better. And sometimes when things are finally better, you look back on the dark times and you're like, yeah, I don't know what, no, I was like sitting in a puddle and kicking and screaming when all I needed to do was get up. And I know that sounds like super insensitive. It's kind of like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, just get up. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that like when enough time goes by, when you finally reach the place where you're finally healed and you look back and you're like, it turned out to be okay, just try to have that faith ahead of time. I know that's like really hard, but think of it as like front loading the faith. When you need it the most is when you need to believe in it. If you're going through a rough time, this is the time to be implementing the faith that everything will work out. And I know it can be so difficult, because it's like when you're going through it, it's like, how can I have faith? But you need to have faith and you need to have hope that everything will be okay, because the alternative is to just keep kicking and screaming and rotting. Like, I don't know, maybe, and then maybe you do need that. Maybe you need to keep going until you're tired of that. There'll come a point where you're tired of crying, and then that's when you know you're ready to move forward and heal. Okay, coming in at number 6. So dream of a world of abundance. And I think this might resonate more with my audience, with my Cobra babies, because I know a lot of us are minimalists, and I know that minimalism has a lot of hardcore like mantras about like less is more, and like let go of this and let go of that, and you don't need this and you don't need that, and you don't buy this, don't buy that. And like, don't get me wrong, definitely from a consumeristic perspective, I'm right there with them. I try to be a good minimalist too, as best that I can be. Yeah, you don't need that and you don't need this, 100%. But I think that if you are trying to heal, I think it is really important to take into consideration that like there's it's not even, normally I say like there's nothing wrong with like dreaming of a world of abundance. No, I'm actually going to make a stronger statement. You need to believe in a world of abundance. You already live in a world of abundance. You need to front load that, and you need to believe that you are currently in a reality filled with abundance, and you need to work really hard to look around you and start recording all the evidence that God has placed in your life of all of the abundance in your life. Like if you're going through it, this is an important thing that you need to work on. You need to look around you and you need to pick out everything that's serving as evidence that you are already living in a world of abundance, because constantly focusing on lack, constantly focusing on all the things that you messed up on, all the things that went wrong, that is not serving you at all. That's keeping you stuck in that loop of self-hatred and misery. We need to let that go. We need to like shift the paradigm 100%, 180, new paradigm, a new world of abundance, new world order. And that includes dreaming and living in a world of abundance as you define your world of abundance. Okay, so coming in at number 7. So stop striving for happiness in the external world. And obviously I'm talking to me when I'm saying this. It's like not really for my Cobra babies, but more so these are like Nat's personal struggles that I have figured out a way to like turn into a YouTube channel. So let's talk about all the things that I placed externally outside of myself. And like it's so tragic, because it's like I practice Buddhism and I'm a minimalist and I practice Zen. I already know the monks told me happiness is already on the inside. Like it's already inside. Like it's already inside. And somehow I still find ways of like, no. I'm pretty sure it's outside. Like, so I'll tell you the answer ahead of time. The answer is it's inside of you. Okay, so we've done that. So now let's actually look on a real level. So you were thinking it was gonna be when you lost weight. You thought it was gonna be like when your social media finally popped. You thought it was when you were finally gonna get that pay raise. You thought it was gonna be when you finally won the lottery. You thought it was gonna be when that hot guy finally started dating you. You thought it was going to be when you finally bought that car. You thought it was gonna be once you finally bought your dream bag. You thought it was finally gonna be once you got a facelift. Like, it is never ending. And if you aren't happy already today, surprise, you won't be happy tomorrow. And like, that's so heartbreaking, because nobody wants to hear that, because I'm pretty sure I could be happy if you gave me like another 100K. Like I know I'd figure it out. But like, even with a high net worth, I still found out ways to be miserable. And I was like, oh, damn it, the monks were right. They were so right. Like, if I can't be happy with nothing, I can't be happy with more. And like, that's like such like a brain, like, oh. So yeah, that's the statement. You're not going to find happiness on the outside. I'm so sorry to tell you that. If you already decided to be happy on the inside, you won. Like, that was it. But let's be real, that's going to take you a really long, it's going to take you decades, and some people actually never even find it. So coming in at number 8, finding meaning and not meaningless consumption. So society has done a really good job of training us to find happiness in consumption. We're going to be happy when we finally take that vacation. We're finally going to be happy when we get that car. We're finally going to be happy when we buy that house. We're finally going to be happy when we buy that sweater, the Labubu, the gold, the whatever, right? And we are happy while we buy it, and then we like plateau. And obviously I know none of this is new to my Cobra babies, you guys already know that, but the thing that I'm trying to say is that like, stop doing that. That's actually making you feel sick and sicker. And I know that because like, that's the rabbit hole I fell down. Recently my content has been more about like me and like me content, and how Nat is like living her best life, and it wasn't really serving anyone, and it had become pretty much like mindless consumption. And again, I'll be selfish and say it wasn't serving me either. I didn't feel good. Like, I'd feel good for a little bit, and then I'd plateau, and I'd be like, then I would like, I essentially had become a hungry ghost. And I have talked about this in one of my TikTok videos, where I had essentially become a hungry ghost in terms of like my finances and my fire journey. I was constantly comparing my numbers against other people in the fire community. I was comparing my YouTube against other YouTubers. It was like, I was literally, I was a hungry ghost. Nothing I did was good enough, and I was just stuck in this perpetual loop of like, I'm not good enough, and everything that I have is I'm not good enough. And it's like, it's ridiculous, because like, I'm doing pretty good. Current Nat is what I dreamed of when I was like in the depths of my extreme minimalism. So coming back to this point is you gotta find meaning. You need to stop mindless consumption. And I had developed some pretty bad habits of like scrolling mindlessly on TikTok, trying to find the bottom. There's no bottom. There's no bottom to the consumption either. So what have I done? Well, kind of went down a rabbit hole of trying to find meaning. And a lot of things that people talked about meaning is found in serving others. And I was like, oh, damn, I don't want to serve people. I just want it to be about me. If you're kind of stuck in a loop, stop feeding yourself and start feeding other people, which is like super counterintuitive, because I know that a lot of what I say and a lot of minimalism is like, put the oxygen mask on first. But there comes a point where it's like, you're sucking all the air, you can't breathe anymore. Put the mask on a child for a moment. Like, it's not always about you. And so that's kind of where I finally feel a lot better, because it's like, in terms of like my content, I didn't know where to go with my content anymore. But then I realized in watching all of these videos talking about where meaning is found in like community, it's found in finding meaning and not in consumption, selfishness. And I was like, oh, there's a lot of things I could do for my channel. And I have a lot of clarity again. It's kind of like, oh, I can breathe again. I was like, I have a lot of videos I can make, because it's like, yeah, it's not about Nat. It's never been about Nat. It's always been about my community and helping my Cobra babies. Okay, so coming in at number 9. So the next point is, yeah, if you are rotting and something inside you is hurting, take that hurt and, number 9, help other people. That's the reward. If there's something that's causing you pain, you did it. The solution to your pain is to talk about it with other people, because there's somebody else who's also suffering from the same pain as you, and the two of you will heal. You will heal in finding somebody else that makes you not alone and knowing you're not the only one suffering from that pain. And that person will also heal, because now, oh, that person is also suffering what I'm suffering. And I know it's like, I always use this word in a miserable way where it's like, ugh, misery loves company. No, actually in this context, misery loves company, because it eases our pain. It eases their pain and it eases our pain. So if you're in a miserable state of being, this might be a good place for you to go seek out other people who are suffering from the same thing that you are suffering from, and build a community out of it. I was suffering when I couldn't pay my student loans and I was in a financial mess. I started my minimalism channel, and it's paid off because I have like 3,000 Cobra babies. That's insane. I've met some of you guys in real life, and yeah, we're like together in this. And my Cobra babies tell me in real life, they're like, yeah, your channel helped me find a life out of hyperconsumption. I'm like, that's such a massive win, because like, it's been great, hasn't it? I mean, it's been great for me, and clearly you guys have also told me it's been great for you guys. So it's like, we're all winning. So that's point number 9 is like help other people. If you are in pain and you don't know how to heal, stop focusing on your healing. Go heal somebody else. It'll heal you. Okay, coming in at number 10. So be less selfish. And this is so heartbreaking to say because like as a minimalist who practice Zen, one of the Zen principles, if you know, it's called the Golden Buddha. It's that koan that I think I've told you guys if you guys have watched my Zen videos. Long story short, the Buddha that kept getting all the funnel, the nose got black. It like marred the metal. So if you are constantly like putting it on you, me, feed me, you're going to ruin yourself. The other thing is when you're constantly focused on you and you compare yourself to other people and their lane and you look at everything that they've accomplished and you look at your accomplishments and you're like, oh man, me, you're going to get sick. No one needs to be looking in the mirror that much. It's not healthy. It's not thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking less about yourself and focusing on how can I serve other people, how can I serve my community, how can I feel connection with other people. And I know that's like very counterintuitive because a lot of my content isn't that theme, and I think maybe that's where I went wrong. I definitely made it about me and like get your bag, girl, and like help yourself, and you can't help others unless you're good. But I think that's kind of what I'm finally good. Like I'm good, and the reason that I was like stewing in my own misery is because like it had all just become about Nat, and it's like it's not just about Nat. There's like other people out there, and I think that's also part of my community, and I want to share that with you guys because it's like if you are in pain, stop being so selfish. I really hope that this video could have been helpful. I don't think I did a really good job of like explaining these thoughts, but I'm like working through it. But I just want to share that with you guys because that was like a major breakthrough for me, and I hope it can be a major breakthrough for you if you are struggling and you feel a lot of pain. Don't worry, it will be okay. So thank you for watching. Bye.